Okay. I really didn't want to make this video. I knew this was going to be terrible. I knew deep down, oh fuck it, I knew all over myself that this thing was going to be terrible. And deep down, I wanted a little part of me to at least be somewhat wrong, but no. As you all know, the Ghostbuster trailer came out, and everyone is booing the shit out of it to the point that I think they're going to probably halt this movie. Now, to certain people in a certain community right now, well, I'm going to post this on a couple of community areas, but this particular one, Glitch, I'm going to explain to you why this movie was bad. It really wasn't because of why the trailer to the new Ghostbusters was not just bad, but downright insulting. And it wasn't just the fact, actually, it had nothing really to do with them all being females. There was, when you watch this trailer, there's this slow descent. It basically says this movie is insulting. It's literally just not worth price of admission or anything. It, it it's not even a funny trailer. It has no comedy. It's all just flat. This is pretty much the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reboots, which is getting a sequel, unfortunately, because people are morons. And the Fantastic Four, or Fan Four Stick, all over again. And I know that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 is going to bomb. I guarantee it will just be a disaster. I mean, there's a reason why Deadpool made more money than the Avengers. Of course, the executives at Fox need to shut up. See, Deadpool was a success because everyone who was responsible for that movie had a love for the source material and from where it came from. And you could sense it into the film. Avengers, yeah, there is some, but it was just more like day to day task. But then you get to the Spider Man reboots, the Turtles movies, and new Fan Four Stick. There's no love for the material here. They're just there to take your wallet and for you to shut the fuck up. And for these other people to go like, yeah, but it's a good movie. Stop hating. Like everything. Everything. I mean, when a guy bends you over and rapes and sticks his dick, forces his dick up your ass, stop complaining. Stop hating. Just like it. Shut the fuck up. Okay? They're insulting movies. And they're insulting to their original concept and their original form. And this is just another excuse. The worst of it being fan four stick. Not because Michael B. Jordan was uh, black or anything. There was just no love for the original franchise or where it even came from. I mean, there was a little bit of respect in the first two Fantastic Four films, but in the one that came out recently, Fan Four Stick, none whatsoever. It was just, this is my vision, and if you don't like it, you're just a fucking hater and get the fuck out of my room. No respect at all for the original, well, the comic books. Deadpool had that. X Men Last Stand did not have that. And now that movie has been erased thanks to the next, X Men Day of Future Past, which basically that movie was designed to just erase and just say, yeah, X Men Last Stand never existed. And you can also take that X Men Wolverine Origins. The one with the uh, Deadpool's mouth all stitched up. Also played by Ryan Reynolds. And here's the real funny kicker about this new Ghostbuster flick. They sent Ivan Reitman, the director of Ghostbusters 1 and 2, to go in and make sure they're not insulting the movie very much and try to keep it as close to the film, but not as close to the film. Ivan Reitman's a poor decision because most people don't understand the Ghostbuster history. First of all, it started as a pet project between Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. Of course, John Belushi died, but then that went to Howard Ramis, and Howard Ramis had a good friend, Bill Murray, and they ended up putting Ivan Reitman on after they put in Ed Harrison for the typical black guy. But you know, even the typical black guy in that film lived, and of course, Ghostbusters went down in cinema history. One of the best comedy horror films of all time, and sci-fi film as well, supernatural. This is like a cut and paste, but with girls. Because most people don't know that, you know, Sony Pictures, the email hacks, and the producer who had to be fired because she was a sexist bitch. She was basically Donald Trump in reverse on sexism. And let's face it, Donald Trump, yeah, that guy's an asshole. And that's why they removed her. She also would get up there and just say insulting things about people every time. And she's saying, "Oh, but I'm protecting my sex." No, you're just insulting people. You're not protecting anybody. You're just insulting people. You don't give a flying fuck. And after she's fired, they gave it to Ivan Reitman. Now, Ivan Reitman, even though he directed 1 and 2, it's not a good choice because he ended up making a movie called Evolution with David Duchovny. Of course, David Duchovny, was using that whole movie as a outcome because of his when he was on X Files, and also using Ivan Reitman, the guy who made Ghostbusters, and the movie came out more like a poor man's version of Ghostbusters. Just really, really god awful movie, and it couldn't even understand its own comedy of why the Ghostbusters one film was good. And it's like Ivan Reitman forgot the formula of Ghostbusters, and he couldn't remix it after that. I mean, he was okay with Ghostbusters 2, except for that weird ending. But then when Evolution came out, he repeated that same formula and just completely botched it and couldn't understand why it failed. He's like, I repeated Ghostbusters, kind of, in Evolution, but it just didn't work. Not Dragon Ball Evolution, just Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolution's a different pile of crap. Ghostbusters 2 at least got it right. Well, somewhat right. Because guess what? Dan Aykroyd and Howard Ramis basically wrote the sequel. Just like they wrote the original movie. This movie is right up there with Fantastic Four or Fan Four Stick. That there's just absolutely no respect for the original material, and people are defending it because you know either the women are either it has women or that it has a black person in it when it's not anywhere near the fucking case. It's just an absolute disrespect to the original source material. It's just a complete and utter disrespect of the original film in every fucking which way. And to add on top of that, there's nothing funny in the trailer. It absolutely nothing. It's not funny. It's forgettable. This is a disaster, and I'm already going to tell you that. I mean, I do sense this movie's going to flop because Sony has fucked up on all their other franchise films. I mean, so far their Spider-Man franchise is still up in the air. They had to make a deal with Disney just to keep that franchise somewhat going. because they're going to handle the next two films. But if they fuck that up, they're just gonna have to shut down the whole shot workshop and just sell it all to Disney, or sell the Spider-Man franchise right back to Disney because Sony just can't do any movies at all. I mean, do you remember that Pixar film that they opened up? I'm sorry, I meant Pixels. And before anybody puts in the comments, but Columbia made that film. Columbia's owned by fucking Sony, you dumbass. And everybody knows that Sony's on the verge of even selling off Columbia Pictures now. Because, and even TriStar as well, if there's anything left of TriStar. And as for Sony Pictures, they actually may end up selling it to somebody else. Maybe Disney. I don't know. But this thing is a fucking catastrophe. Way to go, Sony. You really dropped the ball. And Defenders, you can't defend this thing. Nobody can defend this disaster. That trailer was horrible. See ya.